All right, less serious crimes. So these are related. So basically, strict liability offences are less serious crimes. They're not really going to be things like murder or anything like that. So these are less serious crimes. They're related to, or they're restricted to minor offences. So there's no mens rea required to be demonstrated. You just basically have to do the act, and that's enough. Actus reus, basically. You're caught in the act of stealing. You're caught in the act of speeding. Mainly my favorite example to give for strict liability offences is speeding, because it's just so like easy to understand. Basically, if you're speeding and a police officer catches you, they pull you over and they give you a fine, or they give you a ticket, or whatever it is, they give you a fine, or they take away a few points off your license, then you're caught in the act. The police officer doesn't have to prove that you have the intention to speed. They just have to prove that you were speeding, and then they can do that through, for example, if there was a camera, or if they have like a certain system in place where they can check your speed, then that's essentially enough. So for example, traffic offences, speeding, not wearing a seatbelt, littering, selling alcohol to minors, those are all examples. So in some cases, there can be a defence to strict liability offences by appearing in court and proving the act was an honest and reasonable mistake. Okay? So if you go into court to, I guess, go and talk to the person and say, hey, actually, I wasn't speeding, or actually had a reason for not wearing a seatbelt, whatever. That's how you can fight it. But most of the time, it's a minor offence. You just sort of take it on the chin, right? So most people won't really go to court for it. But if you have a reason, you can do that. You can fight it. The system allows you to do so. What's the advantage? It's easy to enforce, so you can treat people equally, right? However, the main penalty is a fine. So for example, on-the-spot fines, things like that, and that can raise issues about effectiveness if you have the same amount of fines. Like, let's say the fine for speeding is, you get a fine for $200. You can have someone that is really struggling with money, or really struggling financially, and that $200 could be the reason that their family eats that week or doesn't. And you could have somebody that $200 is like $2 for them. It's like nothing, and they're both getting the same fine. It's really only deterring or harming one of them, which is obviously the one that's struggling financially. For the other person, they're probably not going to care as much, which is why I think, obviously, then you've got the demerit points as well, which is probably going to deter the person that is doing financially well as well. So there's something to keep in mind in terms of just being able to understand, or to gain a deeper insight into what these mean.